Hi guys. So before we start, can we talk about my awesome shirt? Yeah, I love it a lot. Yeah, Beauty and the Beast. And with that, let me go into what this video is about, which is books. This last week, I've been stuck at home because I had pink eye, and an ear infection and bad congestion and blah blah blah. Needless to say, I was contagious, and obviously working with elderly people, I can't go to work. So I've been reading, and so I've been having a sick week read-a-thon. So yeah, and I just wanted to talk about it because I've really enjoyed it. What really prompted it was this book, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief, because obviously the newest Percy Jackson movie came out a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I want to go see it. My brother's friend was like, well, you should go see it. And I said, but I'm not going to see it till I read the book. And he looked at me aghast, and he was like, well, read the books. So I read the first one, and I was hooked, like, with only the table of contents. Like, I even Instagrammed a picture of the table of contents. And I said something to the effect of, if the writing is as funny as the table of contents, I'm going to love the book. And it was, and so obviously I love the book. It was fantastic. I love Percy. I love the way it was written. I think it's great. Oh my gosh, yeah. So yeah, I finished the book, and then I watched the movie. I love you, Logan. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. No, okay, let me go back. The movie in of itself is okay. Like, it's not like this great movie, but it's not like a bad movie either. By itself, it's a pretty good movie, you know. I mean, it was a fun movie to watch. I should have waited a little longer after reading to watch it, but what can you do? And then, obviously, I was like, on to Sea of Monsters, and I read that on my Kindle app on my phone, and, you know, obviously, I loved it. I really liked it. If you want to know what I thought about it, Big Girl blog description, you can read there. I really liked it, though. But speaking of Logan Lerman, I read Perks of Being a Wallflower. The book and the movie were both on sale for $10 each at Target. When I say it out loud, it doesn't sound like a big deal, but for me, I was like, that's a good deal, let me do it. So I did, and oh my gosh. I told Candace, like, my type of synopsis of the book, and she was like, oh my gosh, I could have never read that kind of book. But I don't know. Okay, I had a very different high school experience than the one that was described here, because I went to a small Christian school, and I'm very thankful for that. I chose that for myself. Like, that's what I wanted, and I'm very thankful for that. But I have acquaintances and stuff from, you know, public school life and everything that had similar experiences, and I kind of felt like Charlie was writing to me. And anyway, after reading, I was in the glass case of emotion for like a couple hours. I really was. And then I watched the movie, and again, I was in a glass case of emotion for a couple hours. Just I feel like Logan did a fantastic job as Charlie. I loved Emma as Sam. I'm afraid I don't know Patrick's name. Ezra Miller? I think it was Ezra Miller? Were you Ezra Miller? Anyway, the guy who played Patrick, I think, did a fantastic job as well. I mean, I think the whole movie was very fantastic and phenomenal, and good job, guys. I don't know. I think Perks is definitely going to be on, like, my favorite book list. I'm glad that I read it now that I'm older versus when I was a teenager, because there's things like hindsight or whatever that I'm glad that I have while reading it. And there were still a lot of things that really touched me. Oh wow. I also listened to Mr. Penumbra's 24-hour bookstore via Audible during one of the days when I felt like playing Sims rather than reading. And I'm glad I did, because one, it made me feel more productive about spending a day playing Sims. And two, I really like the way this guy read the book. The narrator was fantastic. His name's here because I don't want to butcher it. He was fantastic. I love the voice that he gave Clay, the way he read things. I just thought it was really witty and funny and, you know, sarcastic when he was supposed to be. I really enjoyed it, and I think that it increased my enjoyment of the book by having it read to me, because there was a lot of talk and jargon about Google and about design and stuff that I would have probably gotten lost on and kind of skimmed over. But having somebody, like, having it read to me, it was kind of like being in a lecture, and I kind of paid a little bit more attention. Anyways, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I also listened to Summer's Fall by Amelia Williams from, you know, Doctor Who, which was fun and a very light read, and again helped me feel like my day of being on Sims was not totally wasted. Another book that I read recently, but I didn't read necessarily this week, was Persuasion by Jane Austen. But I mention it because I watched the 1995 adaptation this week, and I really enjoyed it. I feel like it was very faithful. The things that they did change, like, it wasn't a big deal that they changed it. I'm currently reading North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell on my Kindle app. Well, not currently, because I had to plug my phone in because my battery was dying. I think I'd be moving through it a little quicker if I had a physical copy, just because I wouldn't have to worry about things like plugging it in. But, you know, the trade-off of having it on an e-reader, it's not that big a deal. But I really like it. Like I said, did I say that already? I think I did. I'm not too sure how I feel about Margaret, just because I don't like her disdain for the working class people, like, especially, like, toward working class men. Sorry, I had to fix my things. If she, like, if her, like, kind of put off nature by the working class is only toward working class women, you know, the women working in the mills, I feel like that would be one thing because she is a lady. But because she feels like way toward men, I mean, I know the culture's different, blah blah blah, but I just don't like it. I'm just like, you need to stop, honey, stop. I'm just having a really hard time with it. I really am. I don't know, will that make me love John Thornton more or less? I don't know. Another book that I plan on starting soon, I'll probably start it actually after I'm done filming this, because I want my phone to be almost fully charged, so that when I start reading again, I don't have to worry about it, is Divergent. I read City of Bones a while ago. I know that doesn't really have too much to do with Divergent, you know, kind of separate genres, blah blah blah, but they're both being made into movies, and I was like, oh. So I got City of Bones, and I read that, and I mean, other than the fact that my hole was blown in my ship, you know, the book was kind of you know, like, I liked it, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, midnight premiere, blah blah blah, for the movie. But I'm excited, and of course I'm going to finish the series because I need to know what she's going to do with this massive hole in my ship. Anyways, so yeah, Divergent, I've heard really good things about it. I've heard that it's, like, better than the Hunger Games, which I'm kind of like, really? Because I really liked the Hunger Games a lot. So, from what I can tell, it's kind of the same-ish, you know, setup, but very different. That made no sense, I know. Same setup, but different. I also want to show you this book, just because it looks awesome. I was at Barnes & Noble, the latest book in the series, which is the Newberry and Hobbs investigation series. I think it's called The Executioner. It caught my eye. I was looking for, like, a new book to read, you know, kind of trying to step out my reading realm. I don't know. Not that I need more books to buy, but it's whatever. and it caught my eye, and I was like, and I really liked the synopsis, and I was like, and then I saw that it wasn't a series, and I was like, ooh, let me get the first book. So I did, and so I'll read this eventually, soon. And another book that I want to start soon, but I won't start like now, is Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. It's one of my quarterly reads. It's kind of big. It feels really big, but it's not really. It's only 400 some pages, so it's not really that big. It just feels big because there's a lot of extra stuff that was added to it for this anniversary edition that I got. But I decided that I want to read through and study through the book of Hosea before I start it, because of the fact that, you know, the main love story is based off of the story of Hosea and Gomer. I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, what a sad story it's going to be. But I've heard it's amazing, and so I'm kind of like, okay, you know, I'll get to it. I will get to it. So anyway, that's kind of all for my sick week read-a-thon. You know, it's been really nice to be able to just sit back and just read as much as I like. But I do miss work, kind of, and stuff. Mostly I miss being able to go out. Like, I didn't get to go to church today, even though I feel fine, you know, and I don't feel like I would give anybody pink eye. But it's just in case, and I'm just like, you know, I felt really sad for missing service today. So anyways, I'll be glad when the doctor gives me the A-OK that I can go back into the civilized world and live life. But in the meantime, I'm going to go read Divergent and North and South. Bye.